Hello everyone, my name is Sumedha and today we'll study about thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is a branch of physics which deals with the interconversion of heat energy and other forms. So let us define some basic terms for the thermodynamics. Thermodynamic system, any system which we can represent in terms of PVT, that is pressure, volume and temperature, that is a thermodynamic system. Surrounding, anything outside the system is called surrounding, and universe, system plus surrounding consists of universe. And internal energy, energy possessed by the system due to molecular motion and molecular configuration. So the internal energy is of two types. One is due to molecular motion and one is due to molecular configuration. So due to molecular motion we have kinetic energy, and due to configuration we have potential energy, say U, P, U, K. So the total internal energy is the sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy. Now, if in a system there are no molecular forces present, if no forces are present between molecules, then the internal energy will be the difference of final and initial state. That is, U is equals to U final minus U initial. अगर मॉलिक्यूल्स के बीच में कोई इंटर फोर्सेस नहीं है, कोई एनर्जी नहीं है, तो जो मेरी टोटल इंटरनल एनर्जी होगी सिस्टम की, दैट विल बी द फाइनल इंटरनल एनर्जी ऑफ द सिस्टम माइनस इनिशियल एनर्जी ऑफ द सिस्टम. सो दिस इज अ internal energy of a system when we don't have any forces between molecules. So now we'll calculate a work done for a system. Now I have a container and a piston is attached. This container is filled with gas. So this is my system, and anything outside this system is surrounding. So let's calculate the work done. So now what's happening, हमारे पास कंटेनर में गैस है, गैस ने पिस्टन पे फोर्स लगाई और जो पिस्टन है दैट इज मूव्ड फ्रॉम दिस डिस्टेंस टू दिस डिस्टेंस, और जब वो मूव हुआ है, डिस्प्लेस हुआ है, दैट इज ds, दैट इज dx, दैट मीन्स dx डिस्टेंस से जो पिस्टन है वो डिस्प्लेस हो गया है. सो वील कैलकुलेट फर्स्टली फोर्स इज pressure into area, where area is the area of piston. Now we are calculating work done. So work done is force into displacement, say equation 1, equation 2, substituting the value of force in second from first. So we'll get work done as PA, and what is the displacement? dx, PA dx. Now area into length element is volume, so this is P dV. So this is the work done. Now if we say when the system was in initial condition, it has a volume V1. Now when it is in final condition, piston has moved upwards, it has volume V2. So we'll say this is dW because we are taking a small element dx. So now integrate from V1 to V2. So integration of dw is equals to integration p dv. v1 to v2 will be w as p v1 to v2 dv, which can be written as w as p v v1 to v2 p v2 minus v1. So this is the work done by the gas on the piston. So after calculating the work done, we'll follow some sign conventions. That is, work done by a system is positive. That means जो work done है वो system कर रहा है तो वो work done positive होगा. If work is done on the system, that is negative. अगर हम system पे कोई external force लगा के system के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं, उस पर work कर रहे हैं, तो that will be negative. Similarly, increase in internal energy is positive. अगर system की जो internal energy है वो increase होती है तो we'll take it as positive. और अगर system की internal energy decrease होती है, that is negative. Heat gained by the system is positive. अगर system ने heat gain करी है, heat increase हुई है तो वो positive होगा. But if there is heat loss in the system, that will be negative. So these were some sign conventions we use in thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics, the first law states that if some quantity of heat is supplied to the system capable of doing external work, then the quantity of heat absorbed by the system is equal to the sum of the increase in internal energy and external work done of the system. That means हमने system को heat provide करी है, जो heat system ने use करी है, that will be the sum of internal energy and work done. Internal energy and external work done. So mathematically, first law of thermodynamics we can write as delta Q, where delta Q is change in heat, that is the sum of internal energy and work done. Or we can write it as Q is equals to W plus delta U. So this is a first law of thermodynamics. The total heat is the sum of work done and internal energy of the system. The applications of first law, we see thermodynamic first law following in boiling process, melting process. For example, in boiling process, we supply a heat to the water or liquid at which it boils. So some amount of heat is used in raising the internal energy and some in the work done. Next topic is our thermodynamic state variables and equation of state. So state variables basically describe equilibrium of the system, and equation of state is the equation which connects variables. For example, ideal gas equation, that is PV is equals to mu RT, where mu is given, that is the amount of gas is fixed. So these are the variables P, V and T. P, V and T are variables, and the equation which are connecting these variables is called equation of state. Equation of state. So mu is fixed or given, that means जो गैस का amount है वो हमें already known है, and pressure, volume and temperature are varying. So in this we have two types of variables. One is extensive and second is intensive. Extensive variables related to size or dimensions, and intensive, for example, pressure. So from the first law, thermodynamics, we have Q is equals to delta U plus P dV, or say delta Q is equals to delta U plus P dV. So here delta Q is extensive, delta U is extensive, but pressure is intensive as well as volume is intensive. So the product of two intensive is extensive. So this is also extensive. So these were the variables for thermodynamic system. Now we'll discuss type of thermodynamic processes. First we have quasi-static process. So what happens? For example, we have a system filled with gas and a piston attached. So this system is in equilibrium, thermal and mechanical equilibrium, both thermal and mechanical equilibrium. So if the external pressure is reduced, that means the outside pressure is reduced. Pressure is reduced. Then the system will no more be in equilibrium. It will face a non-equilibrium stage. So to deal with non-equilibrium stage is much more complicated. So we say that the system changes its state in such a slow amount that in every step it behaves like or it is in equilibrium. That means जब piston external force एक्सटर्नल प्रेशर हम रिड्यूस करेंगे तो पिस्टन मूव होगा, तो वो इतना स्लो मूव होगा, इतना इन्फिनिट अमाउंट से मूव होगा कि जो इक्विलिब्रियम है, थर्मल एंड मैकेनिकल इक्विलिब्रियम, इज नॉट डिस्टर्ब्ड. So such types of processes are called quasi-static processes. Next we have isothermal process. In isothermal process, the temperature remains constant. Temperature is constant. For example, in processes, we fix the temperature and we change volume or pressure. In isobaric process, pressure is constant. That is, we can change the volume and temperature, but the pressure should be fixed. In isochoric processes, volume is constant. That is, we can change temperature and pressure, and volume is constant. Adiabatic processes are those processes in which no heat transfer is allowed. That means the system is completely isolated. There is no transfer of heat from the system to surroundings is allowed. So these were the 5 types of thermodynamic processes. So after discussing the various processes in thermodynamics, we will calculate the work done for different processes. So let us start with the isothermal process. Isothermal process temperature is constant. So we can say PV is equals to constant. Or from this equation we will say P is inversely proportional to V, which is nothing but Boyle's law. So For work done, we have a formula delta W is equals to P delta V. Now we'll fix two conditions, initial and final. Say initial, we have pressure P1 and volume V1, and final, we have pressure P2 and volume V2. Say equation 1, equation 2. So we can write dW as P dV, equation 3. So from ideal gas equation, we know that PV is equals to mu RT. So substituting the value of P, that is mu RT upon V, in equation 3, substitute P in 3, we'll get dW is equals to mu RT dV upon V. Now integrating both sides from V2 to V1, V2 is in final condition and V1 is in initial condition. So integration dW, mu RT is constant, V1 to V2 dV upon V. So W is equals to mu RT, integration of dV upon dV is ln V from V2 to V1. So we'll get mu RT ln V2 minus V1, that is from V1 to V2. Now using identity here, we can write ln V2 minus ln V1, ln V2 minus ln V1 as ln V2 upon V1. So we get final work done as mu RT ln V2 upon V1. So this is the work done for the isothermal processes. Now we'll calculate work done for adiabatic processes. In adiabatic processes, no heat is exchanged. So we'll write PV gamma is equals to constant, where P is the pressure, V is the volume, and gamma is the ratio of specific heat at constant pressure and specific heat at constant volume. We can write as P1 V1 gamma is equals to P2 V2 gamma. So for work done, we know dW is P dV. Again we have V1 as initial volume and V2 as final volume. So again we'll substitute the value of P from this equation, say 1, we'll get dW is equals to constant upon V gamma dV, integrate from V1 to V2. So W is equals to constant integration of dV upon V gamma from V1 to V2. We can write it as constant V minus gamma dV V1 to V2. Work is equals to constant V minus gamma plus 1 upon 1 minus gamma from V1 to V2. On substituting the upper limit and lower limit, we'll get W as constant V2 minus gamma plus 1. We'll take 1 minus gamma outside, minus V1 minus gamma plus 1. So we get a form W as constant 1 upon gamma 1 upon V2 gamma minus 1 minus 1 upon V1 gamma minus 1. So now substituting the value of constant, as this constant can be P1 V1 gamma is equals to P2 V2 gamma. On substituting the value, we'll get 1 upon 1 minus gamma P2 V2 gamma upon V2 gamma minus 1 minus P1 V1 gamma upon V1 gamma minus 1. So W is equals to 1 upon 1 minus gamma P2 V2 minus P1 V1. So this is a work done for the adiabatic processes. So we have calculated work done for isothermal processes and adiabatic processes. Now we will calculate work done for isochoric processes. In isochoric processes, volume is constant. As volume is constant, we have dW as P dV. So volume is constant, the derivative of a constant is 0. So this term will go 0. So dW is 0. That means work done for an isochoric processes are 0. Work done for isobaric processes, dW in isobaric processes, P is constant. We have P dV. So this P is constant and volume is changing. Say final volume is V2 and initial is V1. So work done for isobaric processes is given by this formula. So these were the work done for 4 different processes. So our next topic is heat engine. So what does heat engine do? It basically converts heat to some work. In this we have 3 things. One is source. Source is a high temperature reservoir at temperature T1, working substance which is working, and sink. Sink is at low temperature as compared to source. So we have source, working substance which is working and converting heat into work done, and sink. This is at temperature T1, this is at temperature T2. So what the heat engine do? A amount of heat, say Q1, is taken from the source. Some amount is used in doing work W and the rest is given to the sink. That means source से हमने heat लिया, working substance ने work किया, उस heat को convert किया work done में. Work done में convert होने के बाद जो heat left over है, that goes to sink. So this is the main basic principle of the heat engine. Now we'll calculate efficiency of heat engine. कि जो हमारा heat engine है वो कितना efficient है या वो कितना output दे रहा है. So that is work done upon heat from source. So we have to calculate work done. Now from the diagram we have total amount of heat Q1 which is used in work done and rest amount is given to sink Q2. So from here work done is Q1 minus Q2. Substituting the value of work done, we'll get Q1 minus Q2 upon heat from the source. Heat from the source is Q1, or we'll say total heat. So efficiency of heat engine is represented by neta. So we'll get 1 minus Q2 upon Q1. So this is the efficiency of heat engine and the basic principle of working of heat engine. So next we have refrigerator. It is the inverse of the heat engine. As we have source, as similar in heat engine, working substance, and sink. So in heat engine, we were doing source is giving the heat to working substance and the leftover heat comes to sink. But in refrigerator, we'll take heat from the sink, Q2, and work is done and the rest amount is given to source. So the principle of refrigerator is inverse of the heat engine. Efficiency is given by beta. Efficiency of refrigerator is given by beta. So beta is equals to heat extracted upon work done. So again, work done is equals to, we have now total heat extracted Q2, which is equals to W plus Q1. So W is Q2 minus Q1. Substituting the value, we'll get beta is equals to heat extracted, that is Q2 upon work done. Work done is Q2 minus Q1. So this is the efficiency for the refrigerator. So next we have second law for thermodynamics, in which we have two statements. One is Kelvin-Planck statement, which states that no process is possible whose result is the absorption of heat from a reservoir and complete conversion of heat to work. That means कि कोई भी ऐसा process feasible नहीं है in which heat is absorbed from the reservoir and the total amount of heat is converted into work done. This type of process is not feasible. That means there are some losses of heat or some heat is used in raising the internal energy and this condition is not satisfied. If this condition is satisfied, so from the first law we'll have U is equals to delta U is equals to delta U plus W. For this, delta U has to 0, which is not feasible. Next we have Cauchy's statement. No process is possible whose result is the transfer of heat from cold object to hotter object. That means जो heat है वो किसी भी cold object से hot object में transfer नहीं हो सकती है. जो भी heat है वो हमेशा hot object से cold object की तरफ transform होती है. तो in which the heat is transferring from the cold to hot, such processes are not possible. Next we have reversible processes. Reversible processes by the name suggests those processes which can be reversed, without leaving a trace of the process. And these processes should be quasi-static, or there should be no friction. For example, of such processes, frictionless pendulum. This comes under reversible processes. Next we have irreversible processes. As the name suggests, the processes which cannot be reversed. We see many examples of irreversible processes in our daily life. For example, expansion of gas, mixing of two liquids. These all comes under irreversible processes. So our next topic is Carnot engine. So Carnot engine is an ideal engine based on the reversible cycle of 4 operations, and those 4 operations are, one is isothermal expansion, adiabatic expansion, isothermal compression, and adiabatic compression. So these are the four processes which we have drawn in a pressure versus volume curve. So for this engine we have four parts. One is source, again which is a heat reservoir, so temperature T1. Working substance, here the working substance is a hollow cylinder whose base is conducting and the walls of the cylinders are non-conducting and a piston is attached to it. Next we have a sink. Sink is at a lower temperature as compared to the source. And fourth we have a stand. Stand is a perfectly insulating material. So let's start with the working of engine. So first step is from A to B. So we have taken a working substance and the working substance, a hollow cylinder, is put it on a source. Cylinder is on source. So from A to B, cylinder is on the source and the piston moves upward. That means the work done is against the external pressure and it expands. So, say our initial volume was V1, final was V2. Here temperature T1 is constant. The work done will be given by mu R T1 ln V2 upon V1. Where A to B is a isothermal expansion. That means the curve from A to B represents the isothermal expansion. Now we'll move from B to C. Now the cylinder is put on a stand from the source. Cylinder is on stand. As we stated that the stand is perfectly insulating material, so no heat is allowed to enter or leave the system. No heat transfer. So there is no heat transfer. That means B to C represents the adiabatic expansion. So the curve from B to C represents adiabatic expansion. So when the cylinder is on stand, piston will move downwards. The work done is given by mu upon gamma minus 1 T1 minus T2, where T1 and T2 is in change in temperature as the piston will move downwards. So piston will moving downwards, so the work done is given by this expression. So say W2. This is the process of adiabatic expansion. So again from A to B, the cylinder is on source and the work done is given by this, which is against the external pressure, and this is for isothermal expansion. And when the cylinder is on stand, no heat is transferred, no heat is allowed to transfer. So piston will move downwards and the work done W2 is given by this formula. Now we'll again move this working substance to sink. So we have four sources: source, working substance, sink, cylinder. So from A to B, we'll place cylinder on source. So the piston will move upwards, will go upwards, and there is no change in temperature. Temperature is constant. So this is a isothermal expansion. So curve A to B represents isothermal expansion as temperature is constant. So the work done against the external force is given by mu R T1, where temperature T1 is constant, ln V2 upon V1, where V2 is the final volume of the system and V1 is the initial volume of the system. Next, from B to C. From B to C, we place cylinder on stand. From B to C, we place cylinder on stand. Now the cylinder is on stand. So the piston will move upward. Gas will expand or the substance will expand. No heat is allowed to transfer, because we have said that the stand is totally perfectly insulating material. So the work done, say W2, work done 2, and this is work done 1, is given by mu r upon gamma minus 1 T1 minus T2. So this is the work done. As no heat is allowed to transfer or change, so the curve from B to C is adiabatic expansion. Now we'll place cylinder to the sink. So curve C to D. Cylinder is placed on sink. So the heat will transfer from cylinder to the sink. So the piston will move downwards and work is given by mu r T2 ln V4 upon V3. This is the work done. Again the temperature is constant. So this is isothermal compression. This is compression because now the piston is moving downwards and in the above the piston was moving upwards. So next we have from D to A, cylinder is again placed on stand. Again there is no transfer of heat and the piston will move downwards. So the work done W4 is mu r upon 1 minus gamma T2 minus T1. So this is W4. And the curve from D to A represent adiabatic compression. This is adiabatic compression and this is isothermal compression. So this is a curve, a cycle of 4 operation in which A to B is isothermal expansion, B to C adiabatic expansion, C to D isothermal compression and D to A adiabatic compression. So again let us revise. When going from A to B, we have put the cylinder on the source, then B to C we have put cylinder on the stand, B to C we have put cylinder on the sink, and then from D to A we have put cylinder again on the stand. So in this way we have calculated 4 work dones. So now we will calculate the total work done, which will be the sum of the 4 work dones. So the work done is given by the sum of the 4 work dones. W1 plus W2 minus of W3 minus of W4. So W1 and W2 are positive because here the work done is done by the engine, and W3 and W4 are negative because here the work done is on the gas. So this is using sign convention. So the total work done will be given by, on substituting the value of W1, W2, W3 and W4, we will get mu r T1 ln V2 upon V1 plus mu r T2 ln V4 upon V3. So this is the total work done. So efficiency is given by W upon Q1, which is equals to mu r T1 ln V2 upon V1 plus mu r T2 ln V4 upon V3 upon mu r T1 ln V2 upon V1. So this is the efficiency of the Carnot engine. This was all about Carnot engine. We'll see you in the next video.